Hey, what's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to revisit Nipsey Hussle's debut album, Victory Lap from 2018. Let's get to it. Alright, so Nipsey Hussle was a rapper out of South Central LA, Crenshaw to be specific. But truth be told, Nipsey was more than just a rapper. He was an entrepreneur, community activist, and visionary. His story is one of perseverance, what Nipsey Hussle stood for as a person, and his philosophy behind business and giving back to the community was just as important as the music that he made, to some maybe even more important. Nipsey Hussle was deeply involved in reinvesting and rebuilding his own hometown of Crenshaw. If the concept of buying back the block was a person, it would be Nipsey Hussle. His music and his lifestyle was as authentic as it gets, and this is one of the main reasons why his music resonates with so many people. So this album, Victory Lap, which was released on February 16, 2018, was his long-awaited studio debut. Nipsey had stepped on the scene around 2005, releasing a total of about 13 mixtapes, but his first actual album didn't arrive until 2018. This project sort of represents the celebration of Nipsey making it through the trials and tribulations of both the streets and the rap game. He had paid his dues and honed his craft considerably over time, and this album was proof of his big level up. Victory Lap contains 16 tracks with a total runtime of approximately an hour and 5 minutes in length. From the production to the content, this was easily Nipsey's most ambitious and polished body of work in his discography. But with that being said, let me go ahead and give y'all this track by track breakdown. The opener, Victory Lap, sets an epic but pensive tone right out the gate. Nipsey talks his talk, but also reflects on making it out of the streets with lines like, "I'm an urban legend, South Central in a certain section, can't express how I curb detectives, guess it's evidence of a divine presence, blessings held me down at times I seem reckless." The production is smooth, somber, yet still larger than life. I think this was a fantastic way to set it off. Track 2, Rap Ends, is a certified banger and West Coast anthem. It's a song that could rival 1994's Natural Born Killers by Dr. Dre and Ice Cube for its intensity. I love the aggression and the piercing synthesizer, and plus Nipsey is rapping hard as nails on this. It's a record that might make you go over the speed limit or possibly even want to fight someone for looking at you wrong. Well, maybe I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, but the song will definitely get you hyped. Some of his imagery was so hard. We the No Limit of the West, Percy Miller at his best, Jigga with the rollie and the vest. Now, if you're too young to remember, he's referring to Jay-Z's Streets Is Watching video from 1998, which kind of epitomizes the ultimate come up for Jay-Z. The following song, Last Time That I Checked, is another West Coast anthem and G-Funk banger. Nipsey and YG reunite to toast to their success, but also to remind us of their grind. It's just as much a motivational record as it is a slapper. There's even some black empowerment sprinkled throughout on YG's lines, "Fuck wearing their clothes, I wear my own shit." And when Nipsey views himself and YG as black owners in this game of powerful races. Right after we get Young N featuring Puffy, this has a bass heavy and atmospheric instrumental. It sounds like both Party Next Door and Curtis Mayfield are being sampled, and of course you get Puffy doing his thing on the ad-libs. But this record is semi-autobiographical as Nipsey flashbacks to a story involving his older brother Sam burying about $250,000 of cash in his mom's backyard. They left it for a year, and when they went to dig it up, it had molded. This story shows how Nipsey was ultimately a product of his young environment, which likely prompted him to seek out street activities when he became of age. The following track, Dedication, featuring Kendrick Lamar, is what I would consider to be a conscious anthem. I feel it has some of the most powerful social commentary on this album. This ain't for entertainment, it's for dudes on the slave ship. These songs are just spirituals I swam against the waves with. Ended up on the shore today, amazement. I feel these lines really capture the inner revolutionary spirit that Nipsey possessed. The instrumental is a smooth and melodic piece of G-Funk. It will likely give you some DJ Quick vibes from the production, and I think overall this record is a testament to Nipsey's evolution as a lyricist, as he sounded right at home along Kendrick Lamar spitting some conscious rap. Then on track 6, Blue Laces 2, we get some really somber, soulful production from Houston's Mr. Lee. Nipsey gives a shout out to Dr. Sebi for teaching health. He also acknowledges how his own lifestyle has changed from being a third generation gangbanger to now speaking at city council meetings. Then on the third verse, which I feel was the most standout, Nipsey flashbacks to a shootout on the beach involving his friend, and the way he paints a picture of the events is really cinematic. Immediately following is the Hustler's anthem, Hustle and Motivate. This contains a slowed down version of the sample Jay-Z used for Hard Knock Life. The beat really slaps, and the hook provided by Maurice David Wade is definitely dope. I think his following lines really get to the core of what this Hustle and Motivate track's about. Ain't really trip on the credit. I just paid all of my dues. I just respected the game. Now my name all in the news. The subsequent record, Status Symbol 3, is easily my least favorite song on this project, to be honest. And it is because of the hook from Buddy, which I feel was a little too poppy and sugary for my liking. I just thought it stuck out like a sore thumb. Maybe I'm in the minority with this opinion, but I'm just keeping it a buck. But I did like Nipsey's flow on this, as well as the bright and upbeat instrumental. Track 9, Sucker Proof, is a high energy banger with a unique instrumental. On this one, he's really getting on his gangster tip, calling out the suckers and the frauds. There's a reggae styled hook from Conscience, which is pretty dope. But yeah, overall, I thought this was an explosive banger that will get you hyped. Right after is Keys to the City 2. I would describe this one as a trunk rattler. I didn't particularly care for T-Fly's part of the song, but I did like this one more than Status Symbol 3, that's for sure. There's a dope beat shift towards the end of the track, which smoothly transitions into Grinding All My Life. This was another anthem that promotes hard work, the grind, and leveling up. The production for Murder Beats sounds like a mix between G-Funk and trap. This is another very relatable track because Nipsey's message of perseverance is so powerful. You can just feel the realness coming off of each line. It's like his voice just inspires you to want to go harder. Things mellow out on the following track, Million While You Young, on top of a smooth and meditative beat. Nipsey reflects back to his street dreams to make $1 million. Now, prior to being a rapper and successful businessman, Nipsey had ambitions to touch $1 million in street money. Although on here, he's ultimately advocating for legal ways to make that first $1 million. So he's really giving out game and advice for people who are either in the street already or for youngsters who, might feel pressured to join. Can't be chasing pussy, switch your ways up. Can't be fucking off your loot, gotta save up. Street safe for everybody, get your grades up. Even though this has a laid back and chill beat, you can feel the urgency and passion in his words. What follows is a joyous and motivational record, Loaded Basses, featuring CeeLo Green. I would say this is probably Nipsey's most polished and ambitious song in his discography. This record has some really thought-provoking and motivational bars. He talks about his transition out of the street life. Look, I was sitting in my Lincoln, I started thinking, I ain't gonna make 100 million off in these streets, and more than likely I'm gonna end up in somebody's precinct. Even worse, the horse and carriage front the church. Then we get more conscious lyricism with lines like, see, it's a couple guys every generation that wasn't supposed to make it out but to code the matrix, and when they get to speak, it's like a coded language, remind guys of their strength and all the stolen greatness. These are really deep and well thought out bars. You can tell he was likely reading a lot around this time. Track 14 is Real Big, featuring Marsha Ambrosius. This has a really tranquil and melodic instrumental. Still, there is something slightly sad about this song, even though it is about overcoming setbacks. The second to last track is Double Up, featuring Belly and Dom Kennedy. This track is the essence of smooth riding music. It is another very relaxing and breezy anthem. Nipsey's whole verse is really fire, and I really like the rhyme scheme. My new shit sound like a soul train. Tookie Williams over Coltrane. Eric B by the rope chain. What you know about the dope game? Was you born in the 80s? Did your mama smoke cocaine? Have you ever seen a whole thing? Had to part with the low fade. I would stand in front of Knicks with my sax for the whole day. He's painting a picture in a really fly and laid back way. Then the album wraps up with the bonus track, Right Hand to God. I like this gritty instrumental, but what really makes it pop are the triumphant horns. My favorite bar was probably, I sip on that Clico while I'm banging that Zero. I thought it was dope to see Houston rapper Zero get some love, as he is very underrated outside of his city. I feel this was a dope way to close out an exceptional project. So there you have it, Nipsey's Victory Lap, an album that really showcased his growth and consistency as an artist. This was one of my favorite releases of 2018, which says a lot, as there were a lot of really good albums that dropped that year, as it was a huge year for hip-hop releases. Looking back on this project, I feel the replay value is still very high. It's a very balanced and well put together project that has it all, whether you were looking for bangers, anthems, gangster rap tunes, introspection, motivation, and even storytelling. It's all there. Even though I didn't particularly care for Status Symbol 3 or Keys to the City 2 sonically, because I felt they didn't really fit with the whole vibe of the project, I think this album could be viewed as a classic, at least nothing lower than a 4.5 mics for me. It's just tragic that his career and life was cut short as he was entering his prime as an artist, but thankfully through his music and motivational messages, the marathon will surely continue. My favorite tracks include Victory Lap, Rap Ends, Last Time That I Checked, Dedication, Blue Laces 2, Hustle and Motivate, Grinding All My Life, Million While You Young, Loaded Bases, Double Up, and Right Hand to God. Let me know what you thought about this album in the comment section below. Do y'all view it as a classic? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out. But be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap 1.